have another spooky story for you guys. This one was submitted by someone who saw some sort of demon creature out in the woods while camping, and she's looking for some suggestions and some insight into what this creature might be. So let's just go ahead and jump right into the story. My family loves camping, especially me and my dad. A few years ago in early September, me and him went camping in central Utah near Capitol Reef National Park. The area we were in was a dense forest with pine trees and quake trees, so it tended to get dark really fast. We were staying there for a week, and on the first night, I heard what I thought was a dog whining, which spooked me because my dog was laying right next to me and was fast asleep. So I just figured there were other campers nearby that I just didn't see coming up the mountain, or maybe they had just gotten there after us. In the morning, I got up and let my dog out. When I got out of the tent, it was just barely light, so I still needed a flashlight. I followed my dog into the trees around our camp, and I started to smell this horrible scent. My dog followed the scent, and it led us to a dead coyote, which looked like it had been put through a wood chipper. I started to leave when the hairs on the back of my neck stood up, and I got this feeling of dread. My dog started growling and barking, which was so out of character for him. I pulled out my hunting knife, and I started yelling because my first thought was maybe it was a mountain lion, because that was the only thing bigger than a coyote in this area. But that didn't seem to work. So the only thing I could think of was to yell a prayer in God's name. I had never really been religious, but it saved me in the moment because after I did, the feeling was gone and my dog quit barking. The 4 days go by and nothing else had happened. I felt safe and figured I had just walked in on something that I shouldn't have. But then one night, I heard a loud, guttural, deep scream that didn't sound like a human or animal. My dog stood up in the tent and started growling. I heard this dragging and heavy breathing, and it stopped right in front of the tent. I could still hear the breathing, so I did the only thing that I knew worked and said a prayer out loud to God about protecting me, my dad, and my dog. But this time, it didn't seem to work. So I just yelled that I was protected by the Lord and that it couldn't take me. I heard the dragging and walking sound again, and once I couldn't hear it anymore, I got out of my tent, grabbed my dog, and ran to my dad's tent to make sure he was okay. He was doing the same thing of just praying that I was safe. This was the only time that I have ever seen him pray or even talk about God. When we both looked out of his tent, we could see the thing walking into the tree line, dragging a dead deer. It was tall, black, and bony, and it made the guttural scream again. We left that morning and never went back there. I do not believe this was a skinwalker, as I have seen those before growing up in Utah, and with many Native American friends, I have asked around, but still don't have an answer. So if you guys have any ideas about what they might have seen in the woods that night, be sure to leave it down in the comments because she's really hoping to solve this mystery. And don't forget to like and follow for more spooky stories.